guys, I'm so excited to film my first of hopefully many pregnancy vlogs. Before I get started, I just have to say a huge thank you. I wish I could give you like a virtual hug. The response on my last video just overwhelmed me and us completely. I definitely expected to feel support from you guys because you've never been anything but the outpouring of emails and messages and Snapchats and comments, like it just, I'm still reading them, like I still haven't gotten through all of them, and every single one of them just reassures me and confirms that I am doing the right thing with my channel, and it's just a really great feeling, and I just appreciate your kindness and your support more than anything. I'm so excited to bring you along on this journey, and I feel like I can finally open up and like share more of like who I am with you, and it's all just really exciting. So thank you so much, because you didn't need to be as kind as you were, and I just really appreciate it. So there's a lot to cover in this video, not so much on the pregnancy symptom front, because it's kind of been like mellow yellow with my pregnancy, but I am gonna insert some really exciting clips of me telling Dan the news, because I tricked him into thinking he was sitting down to film an FAQ video because you guys had asked questions, and he was like outside doing the lawn. I totally caught him off guard. I said, come inside, let's film a video. And I got his whole reaction on camera, which I wanted to have for myself, but I thought it would be fun to share with you guys too. I'm also gonna share with you a video of when we told Louie. We actually told him the day that I found out, because his reaction was so unexpected. You know, he's almost 13, and I just feel like he's just not like into babies. He's used to just being the only child, and even him and Addie, like he's had an adjustment with just adjusting to having like a little person just wanting to follow him around 24/7. But his reaction was totally unexpected, so I want to share with you that, and also I want to talk a little bit about my IUD, because I did get a lot of questions regarding that. And I want to talk to you about the sequential screen, which I got people asking me to share on that. Just touch on the IUD really quick. In the past, for birth control, I was just taking the pill. And when I talked to my doctor about different options for birth control, the IUD came up because, number one, I'm very forgetful. And the pill, while it was great and effective, I would forget to take it, and then I would have like a 2-week long cycle, and it was horrible, and I just didn't want to have to remember that every day. I really loved that the IUD was just in, you didn't think about it, you didn't have to remember doing it. It was also important to me that once I decided to have it removed, I could try right away to get pregnant. We talked about the shot, but she said with that, once you stop receiving the shot, I think you had to wait. I'm probably so wrong, don't quote me, but I know there was a waiting period to try and get pregnant, so I didn't want to do that. And at that point, when I had it put in, it was in for almost 3 years, and I did choose Skyla, not because I knew I wanted to have kids in 3 years, but just the Mirena, which was 5 years, was just, to me, to have something in your body for that long just was really uncomfortable for me, and I liked the option of a shorter time period, and then I could always have it taken out and put something back in if I wasn't ready, or if I was ready, then it was fine. But the whole process of having it put in, I read horror stories online. My doctor even warned me that it wasn't a fun experience, but I just thought if I could have a baby, I could do anything. And honestly, it was painless, pain-free. She said I would have cramping upon it going in. I didn't feel anything. It was really quick, like she was over before I even knew she started. And the whole like post, the couple days after, she said I would have slight cramping, and I didn't have any cramping. I think I did spot a little bit, which she said was totally normal. The one crazy thing was I totally stopped getting my period altogether, which I kind of loved, because who likes having their period? But I also was concerned because I just thought it's like natural for your body to shed that every month, and it was weird to me that it wasn't happening. But I did talk to my doctor, and she reassured me that it was like totally safe and everything was fine. And the only thing I can speak for as far as it maybe being negative was the acne, but I don't know for sure if the hormonal acne that I experienced was a result of the IUD or just a result of having a baby, because my whole skin like changed completely after I had Addie. So I don't know if it was or if it wasn't, but I loved having it. I never felt it. Not to be TMI, but Dan never felt it. It was completely comfortable. I think I did get my cycle the first month after it, and I was worried about like messing with anything with tampons, but I I didn't, and she assured me that it was like way higher up than where the tampon goes. This is like totally TMI, but you're watching a pregnancy vlog, so I guess you're expecting it. And then having it removed, again, painless, quick. I did get my period the next day, but I think I was actually in my cycle before I had it taken out, because I did have slight cramping. Like every month I could kind of feel like I had my period because I would be a little crampy, but I never actually was bleeding. So I think I either had my period right after, or it was just a result of it coming out and my uterus just like shedding its lining. But she did tell me once it was taken out, on average, couples usually get pregnant within the first 3 to 6 months, but it was very possible to get pregnant right away and safe if we wanted to start trying. So with Addison, again, might be TMI, but it was very planned. Like I was peeing on ovulation sticks because I became like obsessed with wanting to have a baby. And this time around, it was something Dan and I talked about way before I even had the IUD taken out, but just when we wanted to try to have a baby, we wanted it to be fun, a fun process, not something where we felt a lot of pressure on ourselves. And we just wanted to let it happen the way it was supposed to happen, the way God wanted it to happen. And it happened really quickly. I do not know my body the way a lot of my friends and my cousins that I've talked to know their bodies. Like so many people have said like they know when they're ovulating, they can feel everything. I don't. I have no clue. The only way I would know that is if I was like tracking it. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to become obsessed. So we just kind of left it up to God, and we just had fun, and it happened. So I bled like right after my IUD came out for a couple days. Then the following month I did get my period. It was a couple days late, but it was just, I think my system just like readjusting. And then the following month, so I had one complete cycle and like half of another, and then I was pregnant. So it happened way quicker than I was expecting it to, but nonetheless we're really excited about it because obviously I had my IUD taken out to get pregnant. So yeah, overall, I'm so happy with the IUD. I'm glad I went with Skyla. I have nothing to complain about. It was just a really great positive experience for me. So with that being said, I'm going to insert the clips of me telling Dan and then us telling Louie that we're pregnant. For Addison, we told her on Christmas morning. We didn't want to tell her right away because she tends to share everything with everyone, and we didn't want to say anything to anyone until we were kind of in the safe zone. So we told her on Christmas morning. We had the I'm a Big Sister book we read to her, and I put a picture of the ultrasound at the end. Dan's brother's girlfriend, who I just kind of refer to as my sister-in-law at this point, they've been together for like I think 6 or 7 years. They're due in March, and so Addison knows that Julie's pregnant, has a baby in her belly, so it was easier for her to comprehend that now mommy had a baby and she was gonna be a big sister. So she's really excited because she was super thrilled about Julie having one, and now she'll have her own little brother or sister, so she's really excited. But yeah, I'll put the footage in and I will see you back in a second. Kids, when do the kids come?
They're here already. I don't know. When do they come?
I don't know. We want to have kids. How many kids? How many kids do we want to have?
1 or 2 more.
No,
she wants
fine.
like 3 or 4.
I always imagined myself having 3, like being pregnant 3 times. So 1 down, 2 to go, maybe.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having 1 to like unite us, but he's always said he kind of liked the idea of having siblings, like 2 of our own.
Oh
kids.
yeah, yep.
So maybe
so
1,
we'll see. Like,
possibly 2.
Yeah, it depends. We may need a bigger house if we have 4.
Oh my god.
But hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Right? It could happen tomorrow.
Boom.
It could happen tomorrow.
I think July seems like a good month. That's like when Louie was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 2017. I think that's a good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope so. What? Why are you acting weird?
I'm not acting weird.
This is your show.
This is your show
You're the host
too.
of the show.
What?
What?
Next July.
What?
I'm pregnant.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
How did you know?
I knew it.
How did you know?
No way.
Look. How did you know?
Because hold on a second. I got I'm just trying to create a grass. I'm just trying to create a grass on our lawn.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do.
And now you're gonna be a dad.
Again. Really?
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Very excited. You surprised me. You surprised me up until when I was in the back just now.
Yeah.
And you have to do it before Louis gets home. And then I just like kind of just stopped in my tracks. I'm like, wait a minute. You always film when Louis is home.
And you asked me why. Oh, I blew it.
Yeah. Seriously? Are you so excited? Mm-hmm. No way. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I knew yesterday. I couldn't wait to tell you.
We're gonna have a baby.
We're gonna have a baby. Louis and Eddie are gonna be big bro and sis.
When? I can't believe. I can't even think. I have to take a deep breath.
I know. Soak it in.
I found. Look. Tell me what that says.
No way.
Tell me what that says.
No way.
What does that say?
Sounds pregnant?
What do you feel about that?
No, Papa's pregnant. There's actually a baby in his belly. You're gonna be a big brother again. Wait, you're not bawling hysterically sad. I thought you were gonna be upset about this.
No, I'm happy about this.
You are?
Yes.
You sure? You okay to have another baby?
I'm okay to have.
Recording this because when the baby is crying at night and you're not getting sleep, I'm gonna say you were excited.
And you know what? We have somebody else that can get up in the middle of the night.
Oh my god.
Louis. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. It was a really fun. Aw, we have a little visitor. Come on up here. Come on. Aw, Mr. Jakey's came. Mr. Jake's gonna be a big brother again. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about the sequential screening. Something that is always offered, I think covered by most insurances, but it's something totally optional. Checking for risks for Down syndrome, trisomy 18, and I believe spina bifida. It is 2 blood tests and an ultrasound, and you have to decide to do it, I believe, within 11 to 14 weeks. Once you're past the 14-week point, what they're looking for is harder to find. Down syndrome I'm very familiar with. Spina bifida I'm very familiar with based on my work in the past. Trisomy 18, I had no clue what that was. So with Addison, I did opt to do it because who wouldn't want an extra ultrasound, and it was a freaking horrible experience. They called me, I will never forget this call. The genetic counselor called me, not even my doctor. I had no idea who this person was. And she said that I had an 85% risk factor for trisomy 18. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And she explained it's like an extra of the 18th chromosome or whatever she said. It was like very scientific. All I remember her saying was that most people who have a child with trisomy 18 give birth to a stillborn child. If the baby survives the first day of life, they usually don't survive past a week, and those that survive past a week have a life of mental retardation. So this was the phone call that I got, and I was very early on in my pregnancy with Addison, and I blacked the F out. Like, I just remember thinking, oh my God, like, you forget that she said an 85% or whatever she said. I was just like, I'm gonna carry this child for 10 months and then have it die on me, or like have a life of hardship. Like, horrible, horrible. My genetic counselor offered to do an amniocentesis to confirm, which is when they stick a needle in your belly, withdraw fluid, and test that, which was not happening. I did not want that done. I had heard there was a really high chance for a miscarriage, and I was beside myself, to put it lightly. Like, I just felt like my whole world was over. They say those tests are not guaranteed. Like, there's a lot of false positives and false negatives, and whatever they come back, whatever the outcome was with Addison, I wasn't gonna do anything about it. So even if they told me that I was 100% chance for having this child with trisomy 18, I wasn't gonna do anything about it. So then I started to think, like, why did I even bother doing this? Later on, my doctor called me and she said there was this new blood test that's just an extra vial of blood that they can test to confirm or deny these results, which I did opt to do, and I had to wait 3 weeks to get the results. So I just remember thinking, like, 3 weeks was taken from me my thrill, my excitement for this pregnancy, and I vowed to never ever do it again. So this time around when it came up, my doctor asked me, and she knew how I was like very upset about the first time. She said, this is why a lot of people don't do it. Dan pretty much left it up to me. He's like, whatever you're comfortable with. We were both on the same page with, again, whatever the outcome was, we weren't gonna alter anything. I would never have an abortion. We would never do that. So at that point, I was like, well then what's the point of finding out? But then at the same time, selfishly, I wanted that extra ultrasound, because if you don't, you only have 2 ultrasounds your whole pregnancy. So I did opt to do it this time, and I kind of felt a little bit more comfortable since I had been around the first time and I knew, you know, how off these tests could be, and I just thought like whatever happens, happens. And now I'm a little bit more like mentally prepared. Addison turned out perfect despite that phone call, so I decided to do it. Thank God, knock on wood, everything came back fine. There's another blood test that's part of the sequential screen, which goes a little bit more into depth, I think around 16 weeks, and then I'll have a 20-week ultrasound, which is pretty typical in pregnancy, where that's your second level, where they're checking like all the intricate details of the organs and everything like that. So that is the story. If you're on the fence about doing it, I mean, it's not something I can tell you. It's just your own personal, you know, if you're like me and you weren't gonna do anything about it, is it worth it? I don't know. To me, it's like worth seeing the baby one more extra time, but I just remember like those 3 weeks were hell, and it was horrible. It was horrible. That phone call was like, oh, I'll never forget it. In more positive news, as far as any symptoms, this pregnancy has gone completely the same as my first one, with the exception my nausea is a little bit worse this time around. With Addie, I never got sick physically, and I haven't gotten physically ill this time around, although I am someone that has like I just hate vomiting. Like, I would rather feel like garbage all day than actually throw up to feel better. I'm that kind of person. So there's been times where I've wanted to, but I just didn't want to throw up, so I just sucked it up and like drank ginger ale. But the problem with this time around versus last time was when I would be nauseous last time, I would eat and feel better. This time I feel nauseous, so I feel like I need to eat before I throw up, and then I eat, and then I feel sick after I eat. And it could be eating anything, like breakfast, a snack, lunch. Like I'm like, why did I eat? So it's kind of been this thing. And with my first pregnancy, it subsided completely my second trimester. This time it's kind of lingering, especially in the mornings. I struggle the most in the mornings with eating because I go to the gym in the morning, and I normally typically don't eat before I go to the gym. I know that's probably bad, but I just don't have an appetite that early in the morning, and I don't like going to the gym on a full belly because I just feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I don't like drinking milk. Like, I don't like cereal. I'll put almond milk in my smoothies, but even that I feel like just sits in my stomach before a workout. So it's been a struggle. I've just been having like granola bars or fruit or something in the morning before I work out. And then when I come home from the gym, the only thing that I've really been enjoying and like wanting to eat is avocado toast. Other than that, it's a struggle. Like today I forced myself to eat scrambled eggs, and I mixed in some arugula, and I made a piece of toast, but I didn't even really enjoy it. I just felt sick and I was hungry, so I made that. But it's weird because nothing, the typical things that I would usually make for breakfast, like oatmeal and smoothies, like they just don't even sound appetizing. Once I'm like midway through the day, I feel fine. Lunch is fine. I have been so craving fruit, which is always kind of part of my diet, but lately it's like I just want all the fruit all the time, like juices and sweets, like candy and chocolate at night, Kit Kats, which is not the norm for me. I'm not a dessert person. I'm not someone that ever orders dessert out at a restaurant, and I have an extreme sweet tooth with this pregnancy. The contrary, while I haven't had food aversions, this is so weird, but I cannot drink my Starbucks lattes anymore. Oh my God, world ending, I know, but I drink a latte every day for pretty much years. I never drank them with my pregnancy with Addie. I was addicted to unsweetened iced green teas from Starbucks, and I've kind of re-picked that up again now, which is kind of weird. But the couple times that I would go to Starbucks or Dan would offer to bring me one home, I would say, oh yeah, that sounds good, and then I would get it and I could maybe take 2 sips. Like, it's so weird. It's just so weird because it's like my favorite. It was my favorite thing. It was like my sugar treat for the day, and now I'm just like totally like meh about it. So that's kind of weird. And then my skincare, which I think I'm gonna do a whole video on, because I did mention in previous videos that I was having like crazy hormonal acne, which I'm sure it's something to do with the pregnancy, but now it's completely fine and back to normal. And I don't know if that's the pregnancy or just the skincare that I've been using. The only major change was my daily moisturizer had retinol in it, which you cannot have or use when you're pregnant. So I'm still looking for a really good daily moisturizer with SPF. I'm considering going back to Origins, but if you guys have a recommendation that doesn't contain any kind of like salicylic or retinols in it, let me know, because I'm on kind of a search to find that. I've just been using an SPF from Colleen Rothschild and my Origins Vitazing in the mornings. So, but I'm gonna do an updated video on my skincare, because I think just in general, a lot of the stuff that I'm using is not just for you if you're pregnant. Like, I think they're just, it's like, I just went back to the basics, so I wanna share that. And I'm trying to think, I'm so out of breath. The shortness of breath thing, I had that with Addie too. There's been no other like real crazy symptoms, tired here and there, but nothing like extreme. And knock on wood, it's been pretty good. Just the whole like nausea and like not feeling like eating, and then when I eat I feel sick, has been really the only thing to complain about. My next ultrasound isn't until 20 weeks. Oh, I'm 13 weeks. I didn't even mention that. I'm 13 weeks in like 4 or 5 days. Every Saturday switches to a new week. So out of the first trimester, and no bump to show you yet. Hopefully that comes soon. And still working out at the gym and loving it. If you guys have any other questions, leave them below. I think that's all I'm gonna cover in this one. I don't know how often I'm going to film pregnancy vlogs, just because, like I said, it's kind of been uneventful, but when things happen or changes, then I will definitely be sharing them with you. I am so excited to go on this journey with all of you and be able to share it, because it's obviously like a huge thing happening in my world right now, and I'm excited to share it. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later. Bye. We're pregnant!
I'm not pregnant.
Baby.
I'm not pregnant.
You just did the easy part.
I'm not pregnant.